You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be helping you decide what to get from the recently acquired ultra rare dream ticket we got from the WCS celebration campaign. As always, what is best for you to get is depending on the situation you are in and the available cards you already have, of course. I will have a top 10 list with some of the best choices and some honorable mentions as well in the end. First of all, please do not, and I say again, do not waste that dream ticket on any of the cards that you can already obtain from other ultra rare tickets, farming or events. With that in mind, let's go over my list. Number 1, Sphere KURIBOH, one of the greatest cards in dueling's history that comes from the first ever box, so going back for it is a horrible idea for your gem balance. The card can help you in a lot of decks, can totally be considered one of the best staples in the game and will be relevant for a long time, especially while we have spell and trap negation becoming more and more popular. You can't go wrong with KURIBOH. Number 2, Cosmic and Galaxy Cyclone. Relevant for this meta and for metas to come. These two cards are great back row hate cards and can always find their way in a deck that doesn't really have an easy time dealing with opponents' spell and trap cards. I cannot differentiate them because one can be better than the other depending on the situation you're in. Cosmic Cyclone, for example, can help you with activating your skills, and Galaxy Cyclone, on the other hand, can be used from the graveyard, so you can decide which one is better for you. Number 3. FLOODGATE Trap Hole, a good staple that unfortunately is from an old main box that hasn't really aged well. There's not a single relevant ultra rare in there other than FLOODGATE, and that is the reason why it's higher on the list than CANADIAR if you're wondering. Can still be useful in a handful of decks. Number 4. PALEOZOIC CANADIAR. You all know this card, so I don't need to say much. It may have dropped off in usage and popularity lately, but it is still one of the best staples in the game. Like KURIBOH, it will most likely be relevant for a long time. This card is better than FLOODGATE because it is more versatile, but its box has way better cards in it than FLOODGATE's box, so going for CANADIAR is not actually a bad idea. Number 5. Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. From the time Buster Blader became relevant in the game, it always finds a way to creep into the meta. Dragon decks will always be powerful and popular in duelings, so this super important for the deck fusion can be a great choice for a Buster Blader player that doesn't have the minimum amount of 2 of this card that is needed for all Buster Blader decks. It comes from an outdated main box, and no one really wants to dig through a box like that. Also, Konami seems persistent on making Blue Eyes good, so Buster Blader decks will always be there as long as that keeps on going. At the current meta, it can be good and can also be paired up with a new Red Eyes Structure deck with Red Eyes Fusion in it. Buster Blader decks are depending heavily on DNA Surgery sometimes, a card trader super rare that Konami can just nerf out of the blue, so be aware of that. I also want to mention Dark Paladin here, because he's from the same box and can also be a choice, but for you to choose him, please make sure you have at least 2 Dragon Destroyers for your Buster Blader decks, and then you can pick Paladin, who you only need 1 as core anyways. Number 6. Drowning Mirror Force. Another staple, not as popular as the others mentioned, but it still is a devastating card to hit your opponent with. If you have all the other staples at a good amount and you do not plan to improve any archetype specific deck you have, then this card should totally be in your radar. Number 7. GOZUKI. The card that keeps vampires viable after the Samurai Skull nerf. It became a necessity for vamps and drifted them away from free-to-play friendly territory. It's from the same box as the Buster Blader fusions, and it can be a great choice for your vampires to improve and for future zombie decks as well. Keep in mind though, just 1 copy of him won't do you any good. I would say you need at least 2 and optimally 3 copies. Number 8. Silver Scry. Blue Eyes is top tier again, and the more Silver Scry you have, the better. Stardust Acceleration is a must if you want to build Blue Eyes, but at the same time, it's always nice to save some money or some gems from getting a main box UR 3 times. It would be better to get Silver Scry with your ticket and then spend on the White Stone of Ancients because that card is super important as well and comes from a mini box. Same applies here, you need at least 2 copies of this card. If you are free to play, keep in mind Blue Eyes is not super free to play friendly because it requires the EX deck as well. Number 9. Armades, Keeper of Boundaries. One of the best and more versatile synchro monsters in Duel Links. Most of the synchro decks run at least one of these cards because it can be incredibly helpful in some tough or back row heavy situations. It does come from a mini box, but not a great one. Junk Synchron is also in that mini box, so if you want both, you are better off opening the box at some point. But for just Armades, you can spend your dream ticket if everything else on the list doesn't suit your situation and you're missing that one Armades that will make your deck better. Number 10. Mirror Wall. Another staple to finish off the top 10. Not the best choice you have, but if you miss a Mirror Wall and have every other staple, then you might as well consider it. It can help with protection and of course activating skills as well. The fact that it is from a really old main box helps with this placement. Now let's proceed to some honorable mentions that you also might want to consider if you don't like any of the above choices or just want something else. So let's start off with Red Eye / Dragon. After the Red Eye structure deck, this card is getting crazy popular and is really important in all Red Eyes decks, so I cannot ignore it. At the same time, it is from a past mini box, available in the selection box and the structure deck, so I cannot put it in the top 10 by any means. Then I have Breaker the Magical Warrior and DD Assailant. They are both cards that can be teched in various decks and help you, with Breaker in my opinion being the best one of the two, but at the current meta both can find uses. Breaker in Ancient Years and Spellbooks, and DD Assailant in Red Eyes since it is a warrior monster. Next I have Stardust Dragon. Stardust I would say is like Armades in a way, and if you are not planning to open from his main box, or you just want to reset for Silver Scry and not care about Stardust, or you just did not manage your resets correctly, then here's your chance to get that one Stardust Dragon. Last one of the honorable mentions is Silent Magician. The chance for free-to-play players to get their third copy of Silent Magician needs to be mentioned, can be a great choice and one that can help you save some money as well if you like. Other cards you might also want to consider if you are still undecided are the following: Buster Whelp, Snipe Hunter, Shazang for Amazones and Burn decks, Destiny Hero Anki, Witch Raider, Paleozoic Hallucigenia, Miracle Fusion, and maybe King of the Swamp, Dust Tornado, a Junk Destroyer for the lads out there that have everything else. So this is my list and all of my recommendations. I hope I helped you with your decision, and remember, there's not really a bad choice at the end of the day, you pick whatever you like. Leave a like on the video, I would really appreciate it, and subscribe for more content like this. For any questions, don't hesitate to post a comment down below. Thank you for watching, you can join my Discord from the link in the description. See you in the next one.